welcome to episode 1 of the Shooting Par podcast. This is going to be a podcast all about the recent events for PGA, LIV, LPGA, anything happening in golf when it comes to their events. So we're going to talk a little bit about the NCAA. They're going into their national championship here next week. They're playing in their regionals right now. So we're going to touch on that. Each week, we're going to focus on the events for the past week. We're going to focus on the recent events in news for golf, as well as the upcoming events. I'm going to be your host, Chris. Co-host Dylan here. Come follow us on the journey. All right. So, past week. Did you watch any golf?
No.
Didn't?
No.
Bad start for the kid. That's okay. So for the past week, we had the PGA had their CJ Cup at TPC Craig Ranch. You had Taylor Pendrith came in first at minus 23. Ben Coles minus 22 second. Alex Noren minus 21 in third. S.H. Kim, Aaron Rai, Byung-Hun An, and Matt Wallace all at minus 20, all tied for fourth. Low round of the tournament was 9 under, shot by Troy Merritt in round number 2. He didn't really make it very high on the leaderboards, but he had the low round for the week. But this was a pretty good tournament. They had some competition going into it. Ben Coles had the lead going into it late. I think he was in the lead by... I think he was minus 23 or minus 22 going into hole 18.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then...
he dropped it?
Yeah, he turned around. He ends up bogeying the final hole.
Sound like me, right?
Yeah, it does sound like you. Except you're probably more of a triple or quad bogey. But yeah,
Right.
So Ben Coles, he goes out, bogeys on the final hole, leaving it open for Taylor. Taylor goes in with a birdie, wins it on the final hole. First win on the PGA.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be my story one day.
I don't know about that.
I'll probably make the PGA Tour before you do.
I mean, probably. You got a lot more years to practice than I do.
What are you pushing, 40 now?
Don't even start with that. Don't even start. Outside of that, a couple of the guys were able to qualify for the PGA Championship coming up, I believe, in 2 weeks, about 11 days. Outside of the PGA event that went on this weekend, we had LIV Singapore in Sentosa Golf Club out there in, not sure where it's at in Singapore. But we had Brooks Koepka came in minus 15 for the win. He looked solid throughout the entire tournament. I mean, he was just definition of consistency. He's starting to get hot here a little bit leading into his defense of the PGA Championship. So it's going to be interesting to see. Coming in second was Mark Leishman and Cameron Smith, both on, I believe, Ripper GC. So they definitely helped their team out a little bit there, both at minus 13. Taylor Gooch came in minus 12 for fourth, and then Tyrell Hatton and Tyler Peters, both at minus 11 to come in fifth. Again, Brooks, extremely consistent throughout the tournament. It's a huge thing for him. He's always been kind of, when he's playing well, he plays well for the whole tournament. He doesn't have, one major score that'll help him. Cam Smith, though, came in, he shot even through the first round, and then I believe it was a minus 6 and a minus 7 for rounds 2 and 3, respectively. So he made a good run at it, considering he shot even through that first round. Sebastian Munoz started out hot in the first round, immediately fell off, though, ended up with 1 under for the second round, even for the third round. I believe he ended at around 10th place or whatnot for that LIV event. You haven't watched the LIV event, have you?
No. I mean, I watched that stuff on, like, YouTube. That's about it. I mean, I keep up with them there.
Yeah?
Slightly.
So you've seen the highlights. You kind of see the difference in, like, a LIV event compared to, like, a PGA event, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, which one do you think is probably more enjoyable to watch for a fan?
Personally, I think I'd probably rather watch a PGA event.
Why?
Me personally. because I just feel like, I mean, I know the live events are more like, it's more like fun type of deal.
Yeah.
But like the PGA events is like, I'm always watching the best of the best in the world compete. I feel like.
There's going to be arguments, though, that, I mean, LIV is right there. I mean, Brooks Koepka went out there last year and won the PGA championship. And again, he's getting hot right now leading into it. The next tournament he plays in will be the PGA championship. So he's probably the biggest competition right now to Scotty Scheffler in that competition.
You think so?
Yeah, he's going to be the only one that I think can compete with him at the moment.
Dang, what about Homa and the people that place like top 5 at the Masters?
I mean, Homa's good. Homa's solid right now. But again, I think if Koepka gets hot, which he's starting to get hot here, he's starting to warm up,
yeah.
I think he's dangerous. At least for Scotty. I mean,
Mm.
Scotty's the best player in the world right now by far.
I mean, it just depends on how many mistakes Scotty makes. And he don't make a whole lot of them from what I watched last time.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's not making many mistakes, if any. But, I mean, Brooks is going to be right there, I think. I think he's going to put constant pressure on him.
What is the qualifier for the PGA Championship?
You have to win a few events or place within the top 20 in a couple events. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know right now for a lot of the LIV guys, this is a big issue for them. Their events aren't qualifiers, so it doesn't really matter what they place or how they play. So for a guy like Koepka, Phil Mickelson, anybody that came from the PGA and went to LIV, a lot of them have exemptions for these major events.
What about Tiger? Is he playing in the PGA Championship?
I didn't see. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think that'll come out probably next Sunday, I believe, is when the pool will come out for that. So we'll see what he does.
If he does, you think he got a chance to win or not?
Nah. Not even close, dude. He'll be lucky to make the cut. All right, so rounding out LIV real quick for the past week. For the team event, Ripper GC came in -32 for first place. Fireballs at -29 and Cleeks at -29 to tie for second place. Smash at -28 and Legion at -26 for fourth and fifth, respectively. Fireballs stayed hot as a team throughout, even though they ended in second. I mean, they started out, I believe, right up there in second or third for that first couple of rounds, and they just kind of stayed right there. But Ripper came out of nowhere with both Cam and Leishman just playing out of their minds for those last two days. Ripper had the 8 under in round 1, which they had for sorry, they had the 8 under for round 1, which was okay. I believe they were in fourth at that point. And then as a team, they absolutely took off. So they definitely were able to get out there and play well as a team. Smash started out really well first two days. I believe they were in first after the first, second after the second round, and then completely fell off, falling out of the top 3, which doesn't get them any points for the team event. So that is something that's going to be rough for them, that little fall off in round 3. Still ended up in fourth, but still, you're always looking for those points, which are the top 3 teams for the LIV events.
How about we start a team and see if we can make an event? It can be me.
We gotta get 4 people.
Me, you. You gotta get Tyler because he's better than me.
Yeah.
The
problem is that, listen, we could have 3 people, me, Tyler, and one other person, and we'll make it competitive. But once that third round comes, all 4 scores matter, which means your score is going to matter no matter what you shoot. The first 2 rounds, we can get rid of your score. We don't have to count it. But, like, the last round, we have to count it.
So what if I just, you know what I'm saying, just screw off the first 2, and then I actually use my good shots in the last round? That'll be good for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you got enough good shots in you, but it'd be worth a shot.
I just gotta practice more.
Yeah.
I almost beat you last time. Well, the time before last time.
How many strokes did I give you?
I don't know.
A lot.
Nah, you gave me
Wow.
like 5, bro.
Dude, I gave you a lot.
How many strokes did you give yourself?
Like 2.
Exactly. So that means the score is not 100% accurate. You won by on that scorecard. You won by like 4 strokes, right? Or 3 strokes.
Did you even tee off on the last 6 holes?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You stopped teeing off.
Dude, I was having injury issues, bro.
Injury issues.
I would have been okay if you were doing it.
Yeah, but I wanted to actually score. I wanted to play.
Dude, on my chips and my putts, I was money on those last few though. I was
Yeah, but
trying
it
to
doesn't
win.
matter if you can't get close.
Dude, I was trying to compete. I told you can give me like 3 strokes just because I didn't tee off. You did what you did what you wanted with it. So
That's
if you
fair.
didn't give me 3 strokes, that's your fault.
That's fair.
So technically, I did almost win. I will
We'll
say.
go with that. We'll go with that. We'll let that one slide. I don't know about that.
So just let me know when we're starting the team up, and then I'll start practicing for real.
How about you start practicing for real so that when we start the team up, we're not an embarrassment right away.
Dude, it's not gonna be you have a higher chance of being an embarrassment than me.
That's crazy. That
Dude,
is a crazy statement.
you know why? They'll expect more from you than me.
They're not going to expect anything out of any of us.
If they were like, dude, this guy's been playing golf since he was a kid. This guy's been playing golf for
I've been taking golf
3
seriously for
months.
like 2 years, 3 years.
Okay, they expect more from you than me playing golf for how many months? 3 months.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
They expect more from you. So that means if you go out there and you're slicing it onto the woods like I do sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, I don't do that every single time, dude.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't hit the ball.
I had more. The last time we played golf, I had more good shots than I did bad shots.
That's fair. You're getting there. You're getting there.
See,
All right.
it's improvement.
All right, let's move on here. All right, so this week in golf news, we had Phil Mickelson reacting to a tweet basically saying that LIV is facing immediate issues as their players played in the Singapore event, which means they couldn't play in the PGA event to qualify for the PGA Championship. Phil has since deleted the tweet, but just for kind of everyone's knowledge, we're going to go ahead. I want to read the tweet, kind of just get it out there for you guys. So from Flushing It Golf, you had them tweeting, "Never has there been a more obvious example of the immediate issue LIV faces than today. The Volvo China Open was played for a 2.25 million purse, and several players qualified for the PGA Championship at Valhalla. LIV Golf Singapore played for a purse more than 10 times that amount, with a bunch of the best players of this generation, but 0 of them qualified for the PGA event or PGA Championship from the event. LIV can have the grandest of plans for their future, but getting players access to major championships should be their number one priority, especially with the major exemptions running out fast and nearly all player contracts up for renewal this next year." So, in response to that, this is Phil. Maybe some LIV players won't be missed, but if none of the LIV players played, would they be missed? What about next year when more great players join, or the following year? At some point, they will care and have to answer to sponsors, television, FAAFO. If you don't know what that means, look it up. So, personally, I don't think Phil should have deleted that tweet because he's kind of right. I think you look at LIV, it's growing. Recently at their Adelaide event, they broke the attendance record for themselves, which is an accomplishment in and of itself because I think everyone kind of saw this a few years ago when they first started and said, this isn't going to work. This is never going to be big enough. You're never going to get the fans. And slowly but surely, they're proving them all wrong. You're getting the players also. You just had John Rahm, who won the Masters last year, go ahead and jump ship to LIV in the off season this year. It's growing. Everyone wants it. Everyone likes the little makeup of it with the team event as well as the individual event. Sooner or later, these major championships have to acknowledge it. And I think that's going to be the next step in all this. I don't know if it's really LIV's problem. I think these players are going to go play for LIV no matter what. I
Yeah.
think they're going to go for the money. I think me and you were talking about this earlier, and you said it. You'd take the money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not guaranteed to win a PGA event anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing of it is, it's the history of it. It's the playing at the Masters, playing in the Open Championship, and all
yeah,
those things, and playing in the players and whatnot. So, I mean, as someone who's followed golf a little bit longer than you, I wouldn't say I was a huge fan when I was growing up. Obviously, you had Tiger, but outside of Tiger, I wouldn't say I was a huge fan growing up.
yeah.
But I mean, looking at it, I would like to play. If I had a choice, I would like to play in those events. I would like to at
Yeah.
least go play those events once or twice, and then I'd probably
Mm.
jump ship and take the money. Yeah,
I
but I
mean,
mean, I
yeah,
don't understand why there can't be, you know,
the best of both
yeah,
worlds.
like
Yeah,
why can't LIV just get basically the PGA to acknowledge their, and not even the PGA, it's really these major championships. So the Masters separate, the Open Championship, all these things. Why can't they get them to acknowledge their events so that these guys like Taylor Gooch, who's been on fire at LIV, get him an invitation to the Masters, to a PGA Championship, all these major events. Like these guys, they're just as good. Granted, they don't play every week. They don't do 4 rounds per se, but I mean, these guys are still out there playing. They're still some of the best in the world, and I think Kepka proved it last year by coming in to a quote unquote major, which is a PGA event, and winning it.
yeah. Um, maybe does it have something to do with like sharing money throughout? You know what I'm saying? PGA and Live Golf. Like how much is Live Golf hurting the PGA's turn like the PGA's finances?
I really don't know how much they are hurting them. I know they just recently signed that deal between PGA, DP World Tour, and LIV. I still don't know exactly how that's working out.
Yeah,
I've been trying to look it up and find out different things, and it's still kind of all up in question exactly how that's working with this. I know I think it's going to be like a little rev share type of thing. So I
yeah,
think as far as revenue is concerned, I'm assuming they're all making,
yeah,
making what they want to make in this sense. Again, I think you have these LIV events. Yes, they're different, but a lot of these LIV events are taking place in like different areas where PGA has not gone to yet,
yeah.
like down in Australia.
Well,
You know,
maybe I mean maybe they're just not wanting to accept them because they're doing things they haven't done yet, or they haven't been done in golf.
I mean
So
that's true, but again, I mean sooner or later, when all their exemptions are up and whatnot, you're just going to be losing the best players in the world. Like I don't foresee that happening. I don't foresee the majors and the people that run the majors sitting there and being like, "Oh yeah, like that's fine. Like go ahead. Like we don't need you."
I mean, what'll happen eventually is they'll start losing like obviously the big name players, and they're gonna be playing live tournaments, and then they're gonna turn around and be like, all right, so now we're gonna accept these as qualifiers. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's just something that they won't have a choice but to do. You
oh,
know what
they're
I'm
going to
saying?
have to at some point.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I think Liv is taking off. Personally, I mean, I like watching both. I think Liv is it's for the younger generation. There's a lot more colors on
yeah,
their
definitely.
broadcast
Yeah,
and everything. And
yeah,
I've been into Liv event, ton of fun, music going,
yeah,
everyone's drinking, everyone's having a blast.
yeah,
But, there's also downsides to that, which I think is the one thing Liv needs to figure out. Like 2 weeks ago at Adelaide, when one of their caddies got smoked in the head by a water bottle. Like,
it happened.
yeah.
Dang,
Yeah, you didn't see that video?
nah, I didn't.
Yeah, it's a good video. You have to look it up. But yeah,
I mean, the thing, obviously, another thing is like you said, it's more of like an upbeat type of event, like
yeah,
more so entertaining than the PGA. Maybe like the
yeah.
PGA is just not considering it serious because based of the outlook that it has, it's more of like a fun event. I mean,
Yeah, but
regardless if you got the most like some of the best golfers in the world, maybe they're like, okay, this isn't like serious. Like they're just out here to have fun, and if they win, oh well.
yeah, but that's kind of how it was when it first started. Now it's been a few years, and again, they're growing in in revenue. They're growing with their attendance. You're getting better players. Like, I mean, the fact that you still have players jumping ship from PGA to LIV just shows that clearly they got a foothold somewhere, and they're clearly doing something right. So I think, I mean, and again, PGA sat there and they signed this deal with LIV and DP World Tour. They clearly see them as, you know, another entity in golf, and they want to be involved with it a little bit, just maybe even revenue share, but still, it's it's a great thing for golf, I think, because you have two competitions now, and I think it's just going to force, I think both um, LIV and PGA basically are going to be trying to put on the best events in the world because they're going to want the fans. And because of that, I mean, it's just going to get better for the fans.
I mean, like I said, it'll be a thing where on down the line, they'll be like, all right, so we're losing all these golfers. We have no choice but to accept them, but to make this more entertaining for our viewers as well. So we'll make it more competitive because, you know, they don't want, it'll start being like less quality talent in the PGA tournament. So
no, that is true.
Less entertaining to watch.
I think the question is, I know talking to some people that I know in LIV, they're looking at kind of creating a women's division next. Which I think will be huge. I mean, if you look around all women's sports from the NCAA basketball to even WNBA now, NWSL, like soccer in America, even in Europe, all the European clubs are investing in women's soccer. I think the LPGA is jumping off. I think if LIV jumps into that, I think it'll be something that'll hurt the LPGA. LPGA doesn't have nearly enough support, I think, from the PGA. So I think if LIV creates it and they're willing to support their women's division, I think they'll end up stealing all of the best players.
Yeah, definitely. It says a lot about like that they don't get enough support, the LGPA. Because I wasn't even aware that existed until you told me about it. So
I mean,
I was aware that women play golf, but I thought it was more so like a college level, and then like they would just go and play in small tournaments that nobody really hears about.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with the LPGA. I don't think it gets nearly enough recognition. I mean, you look at someone like Nelly Korda right now, who I think she either has 5 wins going for 6, or she has 6 wins going for 7 in a row. Like, no one's done that yet. No one's done that before. And I mean, we talk about Scotty Scheffler and how dominant he is, and how pretty much any event that he walks into, he's the favorite. Nelly Korda's the same exact way, but no one's talking about it. I mean, you have little comparisons here and there during, you know, post tournament interviews. That's about it.
You think she can win a men's tournament?
I mean, yeah, probably.
You think she can? If she couldn't win, do you think that she would be like good competition, like top 5, top 10?
Yeah, but again, like, what are you talking about? Like a men's tournament? Like, is she playing from the women's tees?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
What if she was playing from the men's tees?
No, probably not.
Why not?
Because these men are friggin' hitting it like probably 100 yards farther than her.
Do you know how far she hits her driver?
I don't know off the top of my head now. Farther than you.
Nah,
and definitely farther than me.
Probably not.
100%. Look it up.
Nah, okay, let's look it up. How far does she hit her driver?
Yeah.
I can guarantee that when either one of us has hit our driver, the best that we can possibly hit it is gone further than hers.
I don't think you've hit it farther than like 250, dog.
That's good for me.
I'm saying for her, dude, that's a joke.
How far does she drive the ball? 270. You've carried more than that before.
Okay, yeah. I have.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have.
She averaged, her longest hitting year was 2022, where she averaged 272.28 yards off the tee.
Okay.
And that's not even the best on the LGPA tour.
No. I mean, just because she's not the longest hitter doesn't mean she's not the best player.
Yeah, true.
Because, I mean, you look at a lot of guys like Bryson DeChambeau. Okay, he can smack the ball far.
Yeah.
Like, he falls apart putting and chipping.
I mean, he was doing pretty good up until the end of the Masters. So.
Yeah, because he choked it away.
You would have done the same thing if you made it.
I would have. I would have done the same thing. I was about to say. Like, respect to Bryson, but he choked it away.
I mean, you told me that he would do that, but I didn't believe you. because he
Yeah.
was just hot. So
I've seen him after a LIV tournament. He's a head case.
what makes you
Respect
say?
again.
But what makes you say that? Like, was he like he looked nervous or something?
Nah, so basically after the tournament, he didn't play well. It was the first round or whatever, and he went straight to the driving range, and he's out there until it was pitch black, which I respect the hustle. I respect putting in the work and doing all of that, which is fine. I think that's great. The problem that I saw was the way that he treated his caddy and his coaches. Like when he's freaking out on them, yelling at them, telling them they need to figure it out when they're trying to give him tips and he's just not listening.
Yeah.
So it's like the guy's a head case. Like he has the way that he wants to play, which is fine, and he puts in the work, which is great. I just think a little bit more respect for those people would help him a little bit. And I think you can tell when it gets down to it, he grips the club a little bit too tight.
Yeah.
When it gets down to it, like when it gets to the important putts, the important chips, he's gripping the club a little bit too tight. Which again, he can crush the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Chipping and putting is where you make your money. Like, and he's clearly a better chipper and putter than you and I put together. But still,
no, I can probably chip better than he can.
That's crazy.
He probably could too. If you said that's his weakness.
Crazy. And yeah, it's his weakness, dude. He's still on the LIV tour.
I mean, you're right.
Like,
but if you were to go to like the little chipping range or whatever right now, do you think that you can constantly chip with him, like constantly get closer than he does?
No, I think it could be a competition to where like if we did a best of 5 or a best of 10, I'd probably win 3. Like if it was a best of 10, I'm winning 3.
What about putting?
Putting? I suck at putting. I'm terrible at putting right now. I have no touch.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I have no touch at the moment.
How far does he hit his driver? Like 300?
He hits it over 300. I can't remember what his is.
Really?
His is, yeah, he smacks his. All right. So real quick, I just wanted to throw it out there too with the recent PGA event. The kid Hayden Springer. So he was a Brian Nelson high school grad. Played in the event. The event was in his hometown. First time I think this has ever happened where he's playing in an event right in that small hometown. I don't know any other players that have done that yet. Shot 4 under through 2 rounds. Didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But it was a cool little story. See him go out there playing his local place, basically. I believe he went there and saw a couple of events. So that was what made him really want to be a PGA player. So it was cool that he got out there and was able to actually play through that this week. Even though he didn't make the cut, it's a good story.
I'm hoping I get to have like some type of, you know what I'm saying, happy story like that one day.
I doubt it. And then last but not least for the golf news this week, NCAA is playing in their regionals for men's and women's. I believe they're going on right now. What's the date? Yeah, so they'll be going on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. I believe it's the top 10 teams from each, or top 5 teams, sorry, from each pod will go on to the national championship, and top 5 individual players, I believe, from each pod going to the national championship next week. So we'll give you guys a little update on that next week of who made it, who's playing in it, and then we'll might give our insight on it, on who might win. But I think both of us are a little bit biased if our team makes it. So we'll have to
definitely. See. I mean, but speaking of our team, I did see that they just I was just like scrolling through and I get emails about job openings, and I did see they were hiring a new men's golf coach. So.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
They were like
pretty good.
Yeah, they were good. That's why I'm kind of shocked. I think they won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's definitely just leaving to go somewhere bigger.
Most definitely. He's just getting paid more money.
Oh, yeah. 100%. All right. So, last but not least here, we have the upcoming events for next week. So, we'll have the PGA Championship. I'm sorry. For the PGA, we'll have the Wells Fargo Championship in Quail Hollow Club, Charlotte, North Carolina. And then we will have a LPGA event, Cognosante Founders Cup, Upper Montclair Country Club, Clifton, New Jersey. I'm excited for that. I really want to see Nelly go out there and break this record, but it's also in New Jersey, so represent New Jersey. Even though it's North Jersey, it's all right. It's still New Jersey. So we're gonna go ahead and do this every week. We're gonna make picks for every event. So whether it's PGA, LPGA, LIV, we'll go ahead. We'll pick event or we'll pick winners for those. If it's a LIV event, we'll pick individual and team winners. And then we're gonna keep track of it for the scoring for the season. So the way the scoring is going to work is if our player / team makes the cut 1 point, obviously for LIV events, automatically are making the cut. So that 1 point's kind of negated there. Top 25 finish will be 2 points. A top 15 finish will be 3 points. Top 10 finish, 4 points. Top 5 finish, 5 points. And if you pick the winner, you'll get 10 points for your season score. Whoever has the highest score at the end of the season will get a prize. Haven't really decided that yet. It's probably not going to be the winner gets a prize. It's probably going to be the loser has to do something. So we'll have to figure that one out. But for this week, I have Rory winning the Wells Fargo Championship, and I have Nelly Korda breaking the record and winning the Cognosante Founders Cup.
I don't think that Rory's gonna win. I chose Homa. I don't know why I really chose him. I just thought he did pretty good in the Masters, I guess. And I just went with Nelly for the LPGA.
Because, yeah, so I mean, we both went with Korda just because.
I mean, it's just like she's like kind of cheating right now. So
not fair. She's a cheat code. It's ridiculous. So. And then we're also going to do one random person. So for this week, I did my father, had him pick. So PGA, he picked Aberg. And for the LPGA, he actually went with Hannah Green. She just won the most recent event 2 weeks ago. So I think he's thinking she's on a heater right now. Again, I don't really foresee anybody beating Nelly at the moment, so we will see. But that'll be a wrap for episode 1 of the Shooting Par podcast. You don't have anything to say?
No, I thought that was the end.
All right, I'll cut it now. Cut it.